Shall I call? Ah, there you go. Hi, Naomi.
Hi.
Can you hear us okay?
Great. Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah? Yeah. So we're in Brussels. This is a big European gathering where we're going to talk and organise mainly around climate action during the whole year, and with well, keeping in mind that there's the COP happening in Paris at the end of it, but also that we want to carry on mobilising beyond that and a lot before that too. Is it okay if we go through just a few questions and just so we can hear your thoughts on them?
Yeah, that would be great. And just hi everybody, and thanks for letting me crash party a little bit. And hopefully we'll have time to open it up. I'm not, if you want to take the time. And I want to say a special hello to my friend John Jordan, who I think is there somewhere. John, wave.
Just one more thing to bear in mind, if possible, not everybody has English as their mother tongue, so if it's possible not to speak too fast.
Okay.
So one of the main things that we're trying to do through this gathering and in other circles is to connect all our struggles, ignoring some of the national barriers that have been created artificially, and instead seeing that we are related to the issues of capitalism and the social and economic injustices that are its consequences. What are your thoughts on these topics, and on this topic especially?
Yeah. Well, I think that it's definitely the right question that we need to be asking in these crucial months. And I think also in the context of some of the political changes happening in Europe. I think the connections are so clear. You look at what happened in Greece in the aftermath of the economic crisis, where the same forces that waged war on pensions, education, healthcare, any kind of security, social security, also told the Greek people that the way out of the crisis is to mine for gold in northern Greece, and to open the Ionian and Aegean seas to drilling for oil and gas. The difference is that a party like Syriza, we have to admit that while they have some very interesting proposals on the social side, the ecological side has largely been neglected. And it's significant that because of the huge social movements in northern Greece that opposed gold mining, it's one of the promises of the new government to stop that mine as one of their first acts in government. But when it comes to fossil fuel extraction, Syriza is, has been in favor of drilling like all the other parties. It just has a different view of what to do with the money, that it wants to use it for pensions. So I think it is really, really critical right now to engage in as much cross-sectoral face-to-face meetings as we can, particularly with labor. I think there's a real opportunity with the price of oil being down, and the fact that the extractive industries are not offering the same promise. They are not able to offer the promises of jobs that they were able to do, as recently as 6 months ago. So I think the opportunity to demand a justice-based transition away from fossil fuels is quite unique, and in terms of breaking that divide between labor and environment. And we just saw the cost of this in the UK just now with the vote on fracking, where some of the large unions pressured the Labour government not to vote in favor of a moratorium because of the promised jobs. So when we don't work together, we lose. This is what we see. In terms of common framing, I think I was struck just recently from a North American perspective we just got this sort of incredible news that the Koch brothers are planning to spend almost $1 billion on the next presidential elections, which is the same as both the Democrats and the Republicans. So they're like a third party, but they're just these donors. And that's striking because it's fossil fuel money. But what's interesting is when Charles Koch, one of the Koch brothers, made this announcement that they would be spending almost $1 billion trying to influence the elections, he framed it as a war against the march of collectivism. Yeah. And I thought that was so interesting because they have their frame. They understand that everything they're doing, whether they're attacking labor rights or whether they are attacking the climate movement and funding climate change denial, whether they're attacking women's rights or immigrant rights, they see it all within this frame of freedom, as they call it, individual freedom versus collectivism. And what's so striking is that, certainly in North America, there is no counteroffensive, right? Because all there are issues and campaigns, but there's nobody defending the idea of collective action. So I feel like that's our frame in some way, and I think there are all kinds of different choices of language around that and within that. But the idea that what we're fighting for is a way of living with each other and in community with each other and all living beings that celebrates communal action and interconnection, as opposed to fetishizing individualism. This is our work, and so I think there's lots of great work that can happen in framing that in a way that sounds fantastic and desirable and exciting. But I think it's useful to look at their frame.